All right. Hey, everybody. Thank you for tuning in today. My name is Michael Music, and we're going to be continuing talking about, what really constitutes a pleasing personality and how can, you actually, start developing a pleasing personality yourself. So I'm going to be continuing on from yesterday's conversation, and I want to jump right into things. So, the 14th factor is what Napoleon Hill refers to as the appropriateness of words. Okay, so this means that when we're talking about your personality and actually developing a pleasing personality, what words and language are you using? Are you using offensive slang language? Are you, cursing a lot? And how do you think, that is portraying the ideas that you're saying, right? Especially if you are looking to do business but you're texting curse words all the time and just on video you're saying nasty things, right? How do you think that's going to present you to the world, especially if you are in the business of whatever you're in, right? I know a lot of people may not think they're in a business right now, but the truth is you are in the business, and that is your own personal business. That's another conversation we'll get into, but you got to really be careful of what are you saying and how is it portraying your image to the world and your reputation. Okay. Now, number 15 is controlled enthusiasm. Okay. Jordan Belfort will even call this bottled enthusiasm, right? Can you make your dialogue so that what you have to say, actually sounds really important and you sound super excited about it, but you're holding back from sounding over the top, right? When you're on a phone with a prospect and you're calling them, are you screaming, "This is the best product ever. You got to try it out. You'll love it." Right? It's not so much that you're saying that, but that's what it sounds like in your tone and you got to control it, all right? So bring it down a notch, right? Jim, listen, if you give me 30 seconds, I'll tell you why this product is going to benefit you in X, Y, and Z and saving you from this pain point and that pain point, right? It's I may not be saying it the best right now, right? There's better people that are able to express this than I am, but this idea of controlled enthusiasm, right? When I talk about Think and Grow Rich and things that I'm truly passionate about, you know, I'm really enthusiastic about this. Now I have to get good at controlling it. And what is another factor of this, right? Would anyone ever listen to me if I just had a monotone voice as I'm going through, what I'm talking about today, right? If I was just, talking about like if you want a pleasing personality, you just gotta try it out. Like you gotta have controlled enthusiasm. Like, would anyone ever listen to me if I just talked monotone like that? No, the truth is they'll listen to me because they understand, okay, he sounds pretty excited about what he's saying. What does he got to say? Okay, it kind of sounds somewhat intelligent. Let me take another listen. Okay, so that is what I mean when I say controlled enthusiasm. All right, number 16 is sportsmanship, right? The simple fact is you're not going to win at everything in life, right? Some people may think they will, but life will knock you down whether you want to admit it or not, right? So do you have the sportsmanship to say, life, like, fair play, that was a great match and I can't wait for the next one, right? Do you have the sportsmanship, especially when someone that you're competing with does win? And this goes back to sports just being such a critical um, thing, hopefully, in a lot of child. Sorry about that, but are you able to accept temporary defeat? Be like, hey, that wasn't the end. I'm not a failure. I may have lost this time, but I know how to bounce back, right? And I'm going to be a good sport about it, right? So it's not especially how you act when you're winning all the time, but how do you act when things don't go your way? Okay, so that's sportsmanship. Now, number 17 is common courtesy, right? What it is, your manners towards other people, right? Do you just because you got a college degree or a college education, are you putting others down and kind of showing off your ego, or are you just being courteous to whoever you come across? Even if there's someone that's below you in your social class, right? Are you able to just have common courtesy and engage them? Because at the end of the day, right, aren't they human too? Right? So how do you want to, treat people? It goes back to that corny saying, but it's so true. How you treat people is how you want to be treated, right? So how are you engaging with others that aren't like you, aren't in your friend group, and don't have the same level of thinking that you have, right? How do you, truly engage with those people? All right. So if you want a pleasing personality, people will take notice, especially if you treat, let's say you come across a homeless person, you treat them very poorly, right? People will notice whether you realize it or not. It will come across in one way or another, and it's going to bite you in the butt. So you might as well learn to be just general courtesy to everyone. It's not saying you have to go above and beyond for everyone. It's just have that general courtesy. All right. Number 18 is appropriateness of personal adornment. All right. How do you dress? Right? Are you dressing professional? Now, I will admit I am wearing just a t-shirt right now, but at least, I do feel confident in the way I dress, right? Most of the time I'm wearing a collared shirt, and the way I dress expresses the fact that, I am serious about my business, right? Even if I'm working from home and I'm working remote, I'll still dress up most days so that the way I view myself, my self-image is elevated, and that comes across when I'm calling prospects on the phone. So how do you dress? Are you going out to present yourself to this world looking like a nightmare? There's that saying, I forget where it's from. I know a lot of people have said it, but how are you gonna get the world to understand your dreams when you're going out there looking like a nightmare, right? It may not be exactly the same way, but truthfully, like, how are you gonna tell the world that you're serious about your vision and your dreams when you don't even dress the part? Okay, you know that's just something to think about and consider. All right, number 19 is showmanship. All right, so this is, let's see what Napoleon Hill has to say about it. He says, showmanship. You've got to be a showman if you're going to sell yourself in any walk of life. Okay, know when to dramatize words and when to dramatize circumstances. All right. So he says, take the history of the most outstanding man in the world. If you just gave the bare facts about him and didn't dramatize the story as you went along, you'd fall down flat. You've got to dramatize things that you're talking about to the people that you're doing business with. You've got to learn the art of showmanship as you go along. And that is something that you can learn, right? If I didn't at least add my own finesse to what I'm talking about, right? Everyone can go read this book, right? I'm not reading anything that's not out there. I'm literally reading a book on YouTube Live, but I'm trying to my best to give it my own pizzazz, right? My own level of interest by and maybe I can do it better. But what I'm saying is, anyone can not only just watch these videos, but like Napoleon Hill, his words himself said it. So it would probably be even better to watch it there. But can you give that showmanship, that enthusiasm, that the fact that people actually want to tune into your videos so that what you're saying, has this level of pizzazz to it that actually makes sense to them and actually interests them, right? How good of a storyteller are you? Okay. Now, number 20, this is really important. It's going the extra mile, right? We just did this whole chapter is actually about going the extra mile, or I believe last chapter was, right? He said, I don't need to mention that you should have the habit of going the extra mile. You've had a whole lesson on that. Okay. So, if you want to figure out how do you go the extra mile, go back to my videos, not long ago, because I know we just talked about that. Okay. Now, 21 is temperance. Now, he says that temperance means not too much and not too little of anything. You can do yourself just as much damage with eating as you can with drinking liquor. The rule that I go by in all these things is that I don't allow anything to take charge of me. So this is Napoleon Hill's words. He says, when I got to the point where the cigars were smoking me, I quit. I can take a cocktail. I can take two. I guess I could take three. I don't remember ever having taken more than that socially, but if I have ever found them taking me, or if I ever found my being not being able to resist them, I would part company with them in a hurry. Right. So, it's okay to engage in drinking and smoking, but what is the point where the drinks and the weed is smoking you, right? What is the point where, it's actually controlling you, where you can't even go a night without thinking about it, okay? That's when you got to realize, I got to stop, right? And that's where it comes in temperance, right? You're allowed to do things that, society or things that people may say are bad for you, but do it to the point where you realize, okay, this is too far. I got to cut it back, okay? Number 22 is patience. All right. This is still part of a pleasing personality, right? Patience under all circumstances. You have to have patience in this and that, or you have to have patience in this world that we're living in. It's a world of competition. You're constantly being called upon to use your patience. By using patience, you learn to wait for things when that time is more favorable. If you don't have patience and you try to force the hand of other people, you'll get a no or a turn down when you don't want it. Okay. So, me, for example, I'm planning on starting my own business and I'm planning on leaving my job. But do I have the patience to at least give it a few more weeks to get a little bit more cash flow coming in so that I can make sure that my business is fully set up and operational so that by the time I leave my job, I still have cash flow coming in. Okay. So, for me personally, patience is still something I'm really antsy on getting rich, but do I have the patience to still keep the job and work nights to make it happen? All right. So that's the conversation today. I'm gonna cut it here because I got some things coming up soon. I want to thank you all for watching, and yeah, until we meet again in time and space. Bye, everybody, for now.